Back out here on the porch of the Grand Hotel, with me, Oakland County Executive David Coulter. It's good to see you.
It's really good to see you as well.
Yeah, a lot of good conversations going up there. You want to tell me some of the interesting ones you've had so far?
Wow, it's a whirlwind. People think we're up here on vacation. It's a lot of work. I know, no sympathy for that. But the beauty of this conference is that there's so many people here that you can have a lot of rich, great conversation. I just had lunch with the new president of the University of Michigan.
Yeah, Santa Ono.
And even though I'm a Spartan,
that's right.
They are an important institution in our state, and they're talking about doing some things in Oakland County, and so.
Which is very, very interesting because historically, Ann Arbor, again, we're seeing some outreach into Detroit with the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
But Ann Arbor and Washtenaw County has pretty much kind of, been a stronghold, and it's nice to hear some conversation about the rest of the metro.
I do. They are in their own way an economic dynamo. They get a lot of federal contracts and the like, and in the workforce space, especially economic development. And he wanted to talk about that, about how we might partner on things together. And it's a welcome conversation. That hasn't always been the tact of U of M, and I appreciated it.
Yeah, and so as walking around here as the ultimate representative of Oakland County and an economic engine to the state in itself, what are some people asking you, or what are the biggest questions that you're kind of fielding?
Well, talent is always top of mind. How do we get more workers, more people? How do we get more of our young people to stay here and then commit to the jobs that we have here? And
all right, so let's go ahead and look at what you're doing in Oakland County right now. I know you have the 80%
Oakland 80,
Oakland 80. So by 2030, making sure 80% of the population of Oakland County has some sort of a degree above high school. So 2-year degree, 4-year degree, anything. How is that going so far?
It's critical. It's going really well. Let me tell you why it's so important. We did the data on this. People that have a high school degree or less, their average wage is about $12 an hour. If you have more than a high school degree, diploma, your average wage is $30 an hour. It's a huge disparity, but there's still too many people that think, well, if I get a high school diploma, my dad had a high school diploma and he had a good job in the factories, that sort of thing. Those days are over. You need more skills to make the kind of money you need to raise a family these days. So we set that goal. We started at 61% 2 years ago, and just recently we announced that we have hit 69%.
Okay.
So it's a big, audacious goal. We've really leaned in on it. We've invested in it. We're working with our universities, our community colleges, our unions, apprenticeship programs, the whole gamut. It doesn't have to be a 4-year degree. A 4-year degree is not for everybody, but you need something. You got to have more than that high school diploma.
And we see people have the resources, the understanding that kind of help is available to even get them into an apprenticeship program, or the opportunity that people are engaged and they say, yes, that's something that I would like to do. But again, when we talk about some of the businesses that are coming here to the state of Michigan and attracting that, we do also have to focus on maybe some research and development and some of the different types of jobs that are going to bring in higher wage earners, because that's how we're going to boost the tax base here.
Yeah. We talked a lot to our private sector. What are the kinds of skills that you need from our young people? We don't want to train people in things that there's no jobs for.
Right.
So what do you need? And it's not uncommon. It's IT and computer science. It's health sciences, math skills, science, the STEM stuff that we're all very familiar with. And so how can we promote that? And I have to say the state's doing a really good job of making sure that tuition is available through the Michigan Reconnect program and others.
Because that hurts families. The tuition at colleges and universities right now is pretty staggering.
And right now, it does not have to be a barrier. So what we say is, come talk to us in Oakland County. We'll figure out how to connect you to the tuition you need and other assistance. So the county's leaning in on things like childcare, transportation, books, other wraparound services. We do not want you to have any excuse not to get more education and training. And right now, the stars have aligned, and that stuff exists, but you just have to know about it, and that's part of what we're doing.
And that all goes to the population of who's living in Oakland County right now, which is one of the more affluent counties in the state. Talk to me a little bit about economic trends. How's the county doing, and the projections? Projections out of U of M seem to be pretty good, but it was a little soft on recovery when compared statewide?
We're doing well in Oakland County. As a county, we're probably at or surpassing pre-COVID numbers, and that's been positive. But when you really dig into the data, it's not equal across the board. And so certain communities are doing better than others. Oakland County is overall a successful, prosperous county. but there's pockets where it hasn't done as well, and there's careers where it hasn't done as well. Small businesses and retail are still struggling. How do we help our small businesses succeed?
Yeah.
Those are some of the challenges.
What are the biggest challenges for small businesses right now in Oakland County?
Well, they have a lot of them. Yes, employees are one thing, but
Right.
it's also, how do we connect to online and in social media so that we can sell more goods and services on that way?
Okay, so
I'm so busy
marketing
running my
different ways.
store
Yeah.
that I haven't really gotten into the social media like I need to. Or I need some capital. I need a loan, and a lot of banks don't want to take the time. They don't want to take the risk of working with some of the smaller, newer businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we've created programs to help those small businesses, especially the newer ones, and entrepreneurs that want to start a business. There's a lot of folks that are in that category as well, but they don't always know where to go. So we say, come to us, we will connect you to those services and support. Whether they're ours, they're the states, the federal, there's a lot of resources available that people just need help figuring out.
Yeah, you and I have talked a lot about the push-pull of regional cooperation. And, hey, well, what works for the region works for the state. What works for Oakland County should work for all. But you are still competing a little bit. I'm sure Macomb, I'm going to have Mark Hackle here a little bit later on in the afternoon. I'm sure he'd love to land a big business as well. What are the conversations that you guys have as a region together?
Honestly, yeah, sure. There's a company here or a program there that you try to get an edge on. But
yeah.
Overwhelmingly, for the most part, we're in this together. The Detroit region is in competition with other regions across the country
Right.
and the world, frankly. We need to get our act together as a region. We're not growing our population as a region. And I'm glad to hear the governor's going to talk about how do we grow our population. Mm-hmm. Because if a business comes to Detroit or Macomb County, but their workers are coming from Oakland County or vice versa, it helps the region in general. So the days of us being competitive with each other, I think, are diminishing. We work on a lot more together than we compete against.
Mm-hmm. What do you tell people? I'm always curious, this question, from out of town, who say, Dave, really, what's going on in Michigan? Or like, how you guys do? Because that's what I feel when I have family who live out of town, or I have friends who are like, really, what's going on in Michigan and Detroit,
And I think sometimes Michiganders are a little too humble. We've been beat up for decades, and we're a little too, we don't brag like people from Texas or Florida or California do. I think we need to tell that story. I tell them, it's an amazing place. Yeah, we got winter. So what? We have Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
We have the city of Detroit that's on it's cool now. When I was young, it was challenging. It's cool now. We have great, thriving communities in Oakland County that are really great, safe, fun places to live. I don't think we tell our story and brag enough about our state enough. And all you have to do is look out off of this porch to say,
right. I'm going to have to put my sunglasses if I'm looking too far out right now.
But there's nothing like this in America. So we've got a lot of assets. The natural beauty, our talent, and the things we have going for us. We have to brag a little bit more.
Yeah, we got to make the young kids stay.
Yep.
We got to give them incentive to
do.
stay.
Yep.
And we've got to bring people in from around the country saying we've got good jobs here for you and good education. That's another thing.
Not just from around the country, but Oakland County would have actually lost population over the last decade had it not been for foreign-born residents. Mm-hmm. So we need to change the conversation on immigration as well.
Yes.
We welcome people coming to our county from whatever country it is. If you've got talent and you want to help our economy grow, you're welcome here.
Global economy.
It is.
Jump on board.
It is.
Dave Coulter, Oakland County Executive, thanks so much for joining me. It's always good to see you, and make sure you keep us posted on what's going on in Oakland County so we can head on over and see what's going on.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks for
take care. Yeah.